A little bit of the pressure off of him and running the football, a little bit like what they were able to do in Denver around you.
Which is exactly what you need at that age. I saw him before the game. Since he gained at this age and this point in his career, and I can see Ben having a big year this year.
Well, it's an honor. It was an honor watching you play, and thanks for stopping by. Congratulations.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
Enjoy every second of it with the great Archie Manning, who's going to present him for enshrinement here in camp. Steelers ball when we come back.
If Mark, Mr. Cartoon Machado, didn't have the fighting spirit to draw out his passion, he never would have turned chrome into a canvas. If he let a lack of tools stop him, he never would have started tattooing using a homemade machine. And if he listened to those who said he needed art degree, he never would have perfected the street look that made him a street legend. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes him lion. Modelo, good for those with a fighting spirit.
NFL Fantasy is back.
Let's go!
For the biggest season ever. More catches, rushing yards, touchdowns, and fantasy points. From the best in the league to the rookies that could make this your year. Just sign up and draft. It's easy to play. Optimize your lineup with one click.
I'll have some of that!
And watch exclusive player stories. NFL Fantasy. It could be easy to play. Download the NFL Fantasy app today.
August 25th on MLS1. The MLS All-Star Game takes center stage as the best of the MLS will show up its real economics. The MLS All-Star Game, August 25th on FS1.
Are you searching for something? All you have to do is ask. Welcome to Fantasy Island. Do try to have some fun. I want to join you in the show. I love my job.
Let the adventure begin. Fantasy Island, series premiere Tuesday on Fox.
Today's game is sponsored by Modelo. Look for those with a fighting spirit.
The Black College Football Hall of Fame will have a permanent home at the Pro Football Hall of Fame to tell its story. 33 members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, including more than 10% of the players enshrined in Canton, are from an HBCU, including our own Michael Strahan. The Black College Hall of Fame Classic between Grambling State and Tennessee State coming up September 5th here at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. Nunn, longtime scout for the Pittsburgh Steelers, going into Canton, Ohio, with enshrinement this weekend. Headed for the Pittsburgh Courier, scout funneled guys to the Steelers like Shell and Blunt and Elsie Greenwood, long list. And a well-deserved honor. Rudolph just has to fire it out of play. Let's go now back to the field and check in with Aaron Andrews with Zeke.
Well, Ezekiel Elliott assures me that Feed Zeke, the gifts, the T-shirts aren't dead after you've lost 10 pounds in the off season. New training. What did you do?
Just cleaned up the diet a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit different training. Just definitely made the emphasis get lighter coming into the season.
Yeah, and we talked about this when you walked over, just chomping at the bit to get going. Last year, obviously, a difficult season. You had mentioned to me a few times mentally draining. Anything else besides the diet, the training that you addressed in the offseason heading into this year?
I mean, that's it. I don't think I needed much motivation after the year we had last year. Then I also seeing my teammates, who were injured during the season, have to get back in and start rehab, and just seeing how hard they're working. Just needing to be out there with them.
Yeah, and one of those guys I'm sure you're talking about is Dak Prescott. You mentioned being upset he wasn't around last year, as was your entire team. He's not here. All the talk has been obviously on that shoulder. How's he doing? How is he looking?
He's doing good. He's doing good. He's working to get back on the field, and we're not too early.
Thanks for stopping by.
Zeke's horrible. He is just horrible on a interview. Quarterback got hammered too.
From Oregon State, 45 yards, and then Claypool is banged up at the end of it. this as he had to lay out for it. Well, Claypool, it looked like right there. Yeah, I thought it in real time that he got a little bit of a push on the Deshaun Wright. He's able to secure the ball, but yeah, this is. Have a look at him. They'll check on him. Looked like a good catch with that replay. Will the 45-yarder stand? We'll find out on the other side of it.
The all-new Honda Civic is designed to move. In fact, car drivers call the Civic more fun to drive than top competitors. Because in their performance testing, the Civic was the
Top of the hour, we go live
with more power
for the radio show.
and sharper handling than its rivals.
But the only way you can get involved with the radio show is you come through social media.
Get a great deal
I don't do my show normally like everyone else. I don't like troll callers on the air.
Introducing our new nuggets.
Ruins my show. There's very few callers that are good.
And delicious. Get nuggets delivered exclusively on the Popeyes app. No, I like him. Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker and is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper. Ritz Cheese Crispers, where the crispiness of Ritz meets the bold taste of cheese.
8
Try
minutes.
cheesy, crispy. Ritz Cheese Crispers. Only from Ritz.
Hey, Trev, did we upset him today? How about all them snowflake Philly guys? Oh my God, Deshaun. Or no, Devontae. Oh my God. I'm like this. Are you kidding me? I'll give you 15 Devontae Smiths for one Deshaun Watson. How stupid can you be? It's the Philly fan guy. Like, they think that a receiver is going to make the impact you need. It's the freaking quarterback, dog. So stupid. Randy White's
to make an honor of you getting a chance to introduce and induct Jimmy Johnson, present him this weekend as a handoff to Najee Harris, who's still playing. Here into the second quarter, a loss of 4. I mean, that says it all for the first overall draft pick and a guy that won 3 Super Bowls, 2 with Jimmy Johnson. To get that nod from your head coach, that's got to be special. Well, very special. I said it. You know, I mean, it meant a lot to me, of course, when I was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But being asked to be a presenter when the guy can ask anybody he wants, and he asked me. I know a lot of people who were around those teams in '89 when I came in 90. I was the ultimate upset. But I'm presenting him. Nobody could have imagined, but it's a relationship I'm very proud of and honored to be presenting him. Here's Harris.
Great question. As a head coach? That's really a great question. The best player Jimmy's ever coached as a head coach.
Safety back in the 70s and Drew Pearson. Big time, big
He didn't coach. I'm going to use that as a topic.
There's Cliff Harris, Crash. Captain Crash Harris. You know, all 3 of those guys, they've waited a long time. And
He didn't coach.
when you think that maybe it's never going to happen for you,
He didn't coach Barry Sanders at Oklahoma State. I think he did coach a little bit Thurman Thomas.
gets behind him. If he's able to lead him in stride, to have Lab catch the ball and keep on running, they got a chance at maybe running after the catch and picking up this first down. And you talked about it, Joe, with Mason Rudolph. He came in 2019 when Roethlisberger was down and kind of had an up and down time as the starting quarterback. And there's a lot in these preseason games for both him and Dwayne Haskins.
I think it's Emmett.
Here's Sam Sloan, who pushes this 49-yard try well right.
I think it's Emmett.
Kicking game on each side is a little shaky here in August. Drew Pearson will visit with Tom Rinaldi when we come back to Canton. Cowboys still on top. 3-7.
Summer's here. The grill is fired up. The pool is ready to go. Whether you're diving in or just lying back, grab your favorite people and
I think it's Emmett.
favorite snacks. The summer is yours.
Dude, Emmett Brown for college. Yeah, but Emmett, dude, when Emmett got to the Cowboys, it changed the entire franchise. I mean, that wasn't really a passing league then. That was more of still running the ball and playing D. I mean, the Giant teams with LT were a great example of that. Phil didn't really have to throw the ball a boatload of times. They just ran you off the field and they beat the hell out of you on defense. And you know what made those Giants teams so insane great? All the starters on defense were on the kickoff team. Like Harry Carson and Lawrence Taylor, dude, for years, Carl Banks were all on the kickoff team. It was a crazy thing to see those guys lining up on it. Can you imagine putting Khalil Mack or Aaron Donald or guys like that on a kickoff team? I mean, those guys played on the kick. LT was on the kickoff team for like a decade. Bears were dominant. That Bears team from '85 was just great. They're such a dominant team at the point of attack. And man, I'll tell you something. Richard Dent is probably one of the most underrated pass rushers like ever. He wasn't Reggie, but he did this kind of like feint, and he paused a lot, and he pretended like he didn't get off the line of scrimmage. He was a really good pass rusher. Better than you think. Now he's a Hall of Famer, so I mean.
Here's Cooper rushing quarterback, and he finds McEwen the tight end. His second catch, and down to Tom Rinaldi with Drew Pearson.
Joined now by the Cowboys' great Drew Pearson. Drew, different players, different people mark the occasion of their enshrinement in different ways. You did it physically, on your body. Show people and explain the story.
Yeah, that's the Hail Mary, says 12 to 88, 12, 28, 75. And that's commemorate to the Hail Mary, the greatest catch in Cowboy history, one of the greatest catches in NFL history. Also, pays tribute to my quarterback who threw that ball and labeled it the Hail Mary. And so then I got this after I got in. I got to make it official with that. DP 88, HOF 2021, Canton, Ohio.
The Hail Mary, how often are you asked about that day to day?
Well, almost every day. You know, there's always some kind of connotation that people have to that play. I was in Albuquerque not so long ago, sitting here just relaxing.
I think it's pretty cool. I think it's cool. Yeah, no, man. I'm a fan of that stuff. Yes, sir. Yes, that'd be me. Boom. Who did I say to you we're doing today? Thank you, Bank. Okay. No shit, man. I mean, why? Why not? I don't care. Oh, see, I don't. See, that's the difference between you being an Irishman and me being an Italian. See, Italians don't really care who they throw in the hole. The Irishman kind of guy, he does a little bit, you know? Oh, God. Uh-huh. See, this is the beautiful thing about being a New Yorker or in that, Hell's Kitchen, Soho, Harlem, where the Italians, Howard Beach, Cove Beach. Oh, I love where I was raised. I loved where I was raised, man. A lot of Italian food, a lot of Italians around me. Upper East Side. Look at Trev, Upper East Side. Yeah, okay. This guy's more of an aristocratic New Yorker then. I think Trev could be a snoot. Yeah, I think. I see. I don't think Trev is a snoot. Because he wasn't raised one. No. I think he has evolved into one. Or the China Room. Used to go to the China Room when I was a young kid in the Palladium. Dude. When I was super young, this is crazy. Okay, I was at the last years of Studio 54. I went to the Palladium, the China Room. China Room was insane cool. I went to Limelight, which was awesome. My aunt, I don't believe she knows what Limelight is. And I think I told her one time, she goes, "What kind of bar is it?" I go like this. I go, "Well, it's like these old churches that this guy bought. And he made like rock and roll, like dance clubs out of them." She's like this. What? I go, "Yeah, they're all like former churches that this guy took over, and he made like a bar into." Yeah, but would you have? Okay, you just had told me about Irish guilt. I mean, I don't know about you. If I'm going to put a business there, I'd be like this. Well, what do you think I'm going to be able to put a business on the grounds of a church? Oh, to live. Oh, I would live there. St. Patrick's. You want to hear something crazy? I always thought I'd like maybe living at a lighthouse. You have the upper deck, and you're looking over the ocean. I wouldn't. Right. You don't need a television set. Yeah. Yeah. And like, your whole house is like made, and then you could have make it at the bottom where you could make like a living space at quarters, and like you could just go up to the top and stuff. I mean, I always like that. If you ever had a chance, what kind of crazy style house would you want? You know, someone said log cabin, but I would want a lighthouse. Wouldn't that be cool? Nick Saban has that, man. Good evening, America. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Hope all are having a great night on this football night as we kick off the 2021 season. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, man. All the BS that's going on in the world and the mask and the coronavirus cases, and I think we're better handled. We're going to be able to handle this a little better than we did a year ago. No? Right? I think that's why kind of people are like rushing through this thing and like, hey, I know the cases are going up. They're still keeping an eye on the mortality rate, which is low. Thank God. Then again, anybody dying from it is awful. Not dismissing that, some poor soul. You know, listen, like my aunt died. No, I get it. Okay, I'm with you. But I'm so happy. Like tonight, and by the way, it's a horrible game. Steelers and Cowboys. But it's the Hall of Fame stuff. And I saw Bill Cowher just a couple minutes ago, and I saw Jimmy Johnson. I think I'm going to hit on it here in a second. I think we're starting to see the beginning of a mending of a relationship that tore apart two best friends. Isn't that crazy? Success, ego, can rip apart the best of us. Even if we have each other's best interest, even if we were raised around one another, even if we were doing extraordinary things, it shows you that how ego can absolutely just fracture anything. And when you're throwing the type of world fame, coaching the Dallas Cowboys to a Super Bowl, like I said, Hoss, no disrespect to the Titans, coaching the Titans to a Super Bowl surely has a different sound to it than when you're saying, hey, we're coaching the Cowboys to a Super Bowl. So I got a chance to see all the Hall of Famers. Great to see. I see Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. So I know football's here. You know, I want to talk a little bit more about Jimmy and Jerry. And I had Dave Campo on my earlier show. And I was talking to the former head football coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And he kind of broke the news that Jimmy Johnson was going to go into the Cowboy Ring of Honor this year. How amazing is that? Right there on national television, right during the pregame show, Jimmy and him sitting next to one another. Aikman on the other side, who's going to present Jimmy Johnson into induction for the Hall of Fame. That's the first time I've seen those three guys that happy since they won the second Super Bowl with Coach Johnson. I can't think of how many times I've seen those three guys together like that. Remember something. Jerry Jones didn't really draft Troy Aikman. It was Tom Landry and Tex Schramm. He don't get that much credit for that. He was there when they showed up. He was going to be there no matter what. If he bought the team or he didn't, Troy Aikman was going to be the starting quarterback. And Michael Irvin had gotten there a year earlier, so Irvin and Aikman were there. But to see those two guys mending fences, and then to see Jerry kind of like clumsily say that he's going into the Cowboys Ring of Honor is quite a testament. There's only one other coach in the Pro Football Hall of Fame and in the Dallas Cowboy Ring of Honor, and that's Tom Landry. And now Jimmy Johnson will join Tom Landry for those two great distinctions. Landry coached 20 years in Dallas. Immense success. 2 Super Bowls, numerous Super Bowl appearances. The Cowboys were always in the NFC title game, or always in the Super Bowl when Coach Landry was there. He was going against the greatest dynasty of all time. You know what that was? It was that Steeler dynasty with I don't care what anybody says, okay? When you have 18 Hall of Famers on your team, that Steeler dynasty, you remember, players could not have movement. So that meant what? You had to be right in the draft. If you make a mistake today, you could blow out a guy, fire his ass, not pay him. Back then, you had to do everything with draft choices. There were very few trades. Nope. Jimmy Johnson had 57 trades in 5 years as the head coach of the Cowboys. Do you know how many times Tom Landry made a trade? 3 and 20. 3. Jimmy did 57 in 5 years. Tells you a little bit about how Johnson had to retool that football team. When Jimmy got there, he said it was completely on vapors. There was nothing there. Everything was old, including the equipment, everything. They had lived off of that great run by Tom Landry, and they just let it evaporate. Jimmy had to go in and change everything. Jerry did too. To see those guys where they are now together, where, hey, man, get this, in the twilight of their lives, as they're in their late 70s, they're now being able to sit down, have a beer with one another, and look at each other's success. Both are Hall of Famers. Both did incredible things as coach and owner. And you know what? I think this is the best thing that could have happened for both of these guys. You got to mend fences with this. You know, it was funny when Jimmy took over for the Cowboys. I met my wife in Dallas. She couldn't stand Jimmy. And get this, she didn't know him. She couldn't stand him. She's a Tom Landry person. She was raised in Dallas. And she was a Tom Landry person. She's like, no way, man. The way they treated Tom Landry. Do you know how long it's taken a Cowboy fan to get over that? 20 years. 25 years for sure. On the way Jimmy handled that whole thing. Because Jimmy didn't care about the past. He only cared about the future of the Dallas Cowboys. And it rubbed everyone the wrong way. Jimmy rubs people the wrong way, man. It's funny, you know what? Sometimes I rub people the wrong way. Maybe that rubbed off because we all were like that. Because nobody, I get asked the question all the time. What's the number one thing you wanted to do when you were a member of a Jimmy Johnson team? I just wanted to win. And Jerry just wanted to win. The problem became for Jerry is when winning became a priority for him. That meant he wanted the credit. Instead of building the castle, he wanted the credit for also the wins because he felt entitled because it was his team. But then you start going into what made Jimmy great, the winning. Again, this is the story that's going to be I can't wait for the speech on Saturday. The game sucks. But it's a symbolic, time that it's starting football season now. It's a symbolic time where we can get away from the politics in Washington, talk about these great men's journeys. Charles Woodson. I'll tell you something else that I come away with tonight. Peyton Manning has got the best personality I have ever seen when it comes to a starting quarterback. And I'll tell you this, he's the next coming of Bradshaw. Terry is funny. Terry is entertaining. But Terry is on his back nine. Peyton Manning was just doing converting there in the booth with Aikman. And he was funny as hell. And I guess he's going to do some Monday Night Football stuff where they're going to be going around to bars or places and watching the game. And I guess you're going to get a chance to go and hang around with Peyton Manning. I just absolutely loved it, man. Peyton Manning's got a way better personality. And I'll tell you something else about Manning. I was never a Peyton Manning fan because I didn't like his personality. I thought this guy was a drip. I've been watching him the last 2 years. I'll tell you, man, Tom Brady, the last year and a half, he's been awful cool to watch. Peyton Manning, the last couple of years since he's been retired, he's been fabulous. Can you imagine Here's my fantasy for my next broadcast great team. You ready? Let's put Joe Buck, Peyton Manning, and Tom Brady in the same booth. I don't want Al Michaels. This guy's old as Methuselah. Let's get Joe Buck. I don't think Jim Nance can fit in that room. But I think Buck would be better in that room. You get Buck, you get Manning, and you get Tom Brady. Tell me you wouldn't watch that every Monday night on Monday Night Football. You'd probably have to pay $25 million per guy to get him in the booth. But that would be a great booth. Having Brady and Manning talking about a particular football game, man, if I'm ESPN, I do everything in my power once Brady retires to go to Manning and go, who do you want to team up with, man? We'll see if we can even get Tirico back. I don't know. And then we'll put all three of you guys. It would be the biggest Monday night booth since Gifford and Cosell and Meredith. If you got those two guys, who wouldn't watch a game with Tom Brady and with Peyton Manning as your analyst? I'm signed up. I'd want to listen to it if I was an active NFL guy just to see how they're talking about the game and how they see the game. Right? Wouldn't that be cool? I mean, personalities we're seeing here tonight are great. I love the whole pageantry of it too. You're there in Canton, Ohio. It's the place of legends. Jimmy and Jerry are ironing out their differences. And that's going to be the story of the weekend. Bill Cowher going into the Hall of Fame. Like I said, Charles Woodson going into the Hall of Fame. Drew Pearson going into the Hall of Fame after all these decades of waiting. You know, he was the only player on the All-70s team not to make it into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That was a skill set wideout. And you're like, okay, well, he was on the best team in the 70s in the NFC side next to the Vikings, right? And he didn't make it. You're like, really? Okay. It's really weird, but he was a great football player. Phenomenal player. Look at the Cowboys that are in there. Randy White, and man, so many great football players. Aikman. You know, I was asked the question, who's Jimmy Johnson's greatest football player that he's ever coached as a head coach? That's a great question. I want it to be a Kane, but I don't believe it is. The greatest player that Coach Jimmy Johnson ever coached has got to be Emmitt Smith. He's a Gator, get it. But Emmitt Smith changed that franchise. I've never seen a running back in my life to this day. Was he as talented as Eric Dickerson? Was he as powerful as Earl Campbell? Did he have breakaway, massive speed like Gale Sayers? Absolutely no. But you know what that guy did have? He was this: 8 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards, 9 yards, 4 yards, 8 yards, 3 yards, 10 yards, 5 yards. You never saw him with a minus play. And then you look up, he had 28 carries and 156 yards, and the Cowboys had run you off the field. That guy was a game-changing dude. That he did it in college, high school, and the NFL. That's JJ's greatest player he ever coached. It really is. All right, we kind of broke some news today. Everybody got their panties in a bind. It was pretty interesting, too, because I said the Eagles and the Eagles and the Texans are making a deal. I'll explain next. Holy cow. I'm getting a $65 credit on my electric bill. Yeah. It's something to do with the governor. He's trying to buy as many votes as he can now. You're damn right. I'm easily bought. Oh, no, I'm easily bought. You pay, yeah, absolutely. Guy wants to pay my rent. I'm woke. Of course, I'll do any. I'll easily sold out. You just here. You just send me on an email what you want me to say. I'll say it anytime you want. Oh, what? How much is that? Yeah, right there's that little number down there at the bottom. It says amount for services rendered as a consultant. Dan Sileo is now a consultant. Let's see what that number is. Oh yeah, that's good. I'll take about 10 grand. Yeah, I'm a consultant for Biden. She goes, what happened? I got a tax break on my electric bill. Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot to say this. Oh, okay, I got a cameo thing. Did you hear? No, I'm going to say it here in a second. Okay. No, wait till you hear this. This is hilarious. Let me go over to it. There it is. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Ross Tucker tonight from the Ross Tucker podcast, one of the absolutely best NFL analysts there is. I love the guy, really do. If I'm not mistaken, I think he went to Princeton. He played like 10 years in the NFL too. Crazy stuff, man. I just love Ross. So that'll be hour number 2. I found out my my fame and what my fame level of fame is to my daughter. You see, I'm on this Cameo thing. In case you guys don't know what it is, Cameo is like you can request like famous people like Ice Cube or Snoop Dogg, actors. Matt Damon's on it. And there's a particular number set that these guys will do, like a 30-second happy birthday to Joanne. Congratulations to your anniversary, whatever. So I had $50 on there. My daughter came to me the other day and she's like, you'll never get anybody to do anything for you for $50. You're not that famous. I said, okay, what should I do? She goes, 30. I said, all right. She goes, Dad, you're really not that famous. I said, okay, 30. She goes, you want to get traffic? I said, okay. So I didn't realize what this would lead to. So I kind of like threw out a story this morning about Deshaun Watson and the Eagles going back and forth. And I've got the Cameo link like pinned to my Twitter page at Dan Sileo Show. So the Eagle fans do not want that guy. And I'll talk about that deal in a minute here. But I want to talk to you about the cameo thing on what's happened with the fan base in Philly. So the fan base in Philly, Sileo, this Devontae Smith kid, this guy won the Heisman Trophy a year ago. He was a receiver taken in the first round by the Eagles. They've fallen in love with the guy, even though they don't have the quarterback to get him the football. Anyway. So I said, oh my God, I got a first response on Cameo. This is my first time that I'm going to make some money on Cameo. $30, but hey, you know what? $30 today, I'm good with it, right? Get it going. So here it is. This is my very first Cameo. Sean McGovern, Sir Gorilla TIT, you know what? From Sean McGovern. This is my instructions. I am a dumb Goomba who has no real inside info on any goings-on in the NFL. I know nothing about the Deshaun Watson trade. Was wrong on so many occasions in the past. And here is the kicker. I have a fat heart. Now, should I do it? Take the 30. You know, I was just saying that I got a tax credit or I got a credit on my energy bill, and I'm like, hey, Governor Gavin Newsom, that won me some points tonight with you. When that mail-in ballot comes, I don't know. That was a good move for you, man, to send that out like this. Should I? I mean, but I got another one. Hey, fat face. Nice trade. This is what I want you to say. I want you to kiss my ass. These are all Cameo people that I could do. I get 2 of them now. Kiss my ass, Sileo. Oh, no, I'm not doing a live read here. No. No, right here. Hey, no, here's this is the best one. I am a dumb Goomba who has no real insight info on anything in the NFL. Now, should I do it? I don't know. My wife goes, you really want that floating around out there? I'm like, I'm like, well, you know, I'm easily sold out. I can, you know. She goes, for $30 you do it? I go, for $3. Oh my God. So my aunt goes, you're not doing it, are you? She goes, I'll give you the 30. And I went, it's not the same. All right, I'll talk about the Deshaun Watson mess that I made this morning. We'll do it next. I'm a dumb Goomba. Ugh. A bed? I'm going to do a bed too. Hey, let me. Oh yeah, no, it would be the Godfather music. No, no. See, I think give me the Godfather music, and I'll do it coming out of the break. Okay, just give me the Godfather Scott Stang song. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want the Godfather. I don't want it. Give me the Godfather music. I'm going to see how it sounds. I'm going to wait for the air, though. Hey, no, I'm going to ask for the music, okay? Yeah, no, I'll just go like this. Chris O, let's see if we can make this thing a little bit more productive here. Oh, God. I hate it already. It's clapping. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's better. Okay, that's enough for you, man. Okay, kid, don't worry. I know how to start and close a bit. Okay, Wayne. Yeah, this one here. This is the best one right here. This is the one I want. Yeah, and I'll ask for it. What are they saying about impeach Biden and Harris? What is this about? No doubt. I don't. Jesus criminy, man. I mean, people are so ill. Oh, absolutely. So you're going to stay with me, or are you going to bring your mistress to Las Vegas? You going to do these things with me? Why do you talk to me with such disrespect? Is that funny? Hey, Chris, don't ever take sides against the family again. I love you like a brother. Is that why Fred? Wait a minute. Wait, is that why Fred slaps you around in public, Chris? Uh, Chris is screaming at every guy in the building here. You know what I mean? He's screaming at everyone in the building. Is that why you slap Chris around in public down at the food stand? Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. I'll get into this Deshaun Watson deal. Why everybody's moaning and crying in Philly over what I said. Oh, but this cameo thing, it's got me here because I'm perplexed. Should I do it and take the 30, or should I not do it? And because again, this is maybe what I could do is I could dress it up a little bit. Chris, let's see if we could dress this up a little bit. Go ahead. Now look, understand something. I have to do exactly what they request for me. So let me get in a role. Let me get into a role here. You see, this is a day where I, Dan Sileo, the head of the family, have taken this honor of being able to send a message through Cameo to some loved one that you have, that you respect. This is how I've been instructed to tell you basically how it should sound. I am a dumb Goomba who is made and has no real inside connections anywhere in the National Football League. You thought Tessio did. but it's not true. It's Clemenza. I know nothing about Deshaun Watson. Was wrong on many occasions in the past. And by the way, just like Fat Clemenza, I have a fat heart too. Should I dress it up like that? Collect the 30. I'm perplexed on that. See, I'm going to send this actually to Ice Cube because Ice Cube had a great idea back in the day. People were burning his records, and Eazy-E went like this. I don't care what they do with the records. They bought them. Long as they bought them. So I'm perplexed. But you see, something like that is like a crying meme. That's something Jordan hates. There's like 100 of them out there of them. If this goes public, I have to get in front of the commission. And then all hell breaks loose. A cameo service? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you should have seen the cake that was made. Oof. So, like, don't give this to an Italian. Give this to. That's enough of this. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. I can't have that rolling around out there. My daughter would go, Dad, there's a video floating around you out there calling yourself a dumb goomba with a fat heart. I can't have it. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm gonna have the cameo. I'm gonna do it with the orange peel. Hey. I'm gonna do the orange peel with the with the cameo with the orange peel. Hey, stupid! I didn't come to Vegas. I didn't come to Lake Tahoe to sit here and drink. I know. Anyway, let me move on here before I throw up on myself. So I'm not doing the cameo. I can just see it. Hey, Dad, there's a fat goomba and a fat heart comment made by you. You would do that for $30? You told me $30. You said I'm not worth 50. Maybe what I should do is raise it now to 100, because 100, I'll clearly do it. Oh, full fedora, no doubt. I'll put a tux on, like I was going to his sister's wedding. like Luca Brasi was sitting out front, Don Corleone. I hope your kid has a masculine kid. On the day of your daughter's wedding. I don't know. Let me go. Leave me alone. I gotta go. Holy cow, man! For $200, God knows what I'll do. All right, let me go here. So here's how this whole thing ended up happening here. So look, there's a guy by the name of Nick Caserio who was the general manager of the Houston Texans. And I had a conversation with him because I was trying to get him on the show. And I do a streaming football show early in the day, and I do my national radio show at night. So earlier in the day, a lot of these guys are more accessible. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm talking to Nick, and I go like this. How's everything going with Deshaun? And he's like, no updates really. But I go, our team's now starting to reach out to the Texans now. He goes, oh, yeah. I go, a lot of East Coast teams. And he said, yes. And so I said, wow, a lot? And he goes, yeah. Let's do the deduction here. What is the one thing the Texans want to do? They don't want to trade him inside the AFC. They may be forced to, though. So that means look at the NFC teams that are on the East Coast. That's how general managers talk to agents, and that's how they also talk to media people. They don't want it because they can always deny they told you. Did you tell Sileo that you were trading Deshaun Watson to the Eagles? Absolutely not, he said that. But he said a team on the East Coast, so you start deducting it. Do you think that it's the New York Giants? No, they're kind of sold on Daniel Jones, unless that changes. Could it be the Patriots? Maybe, but that's AFC. It's not going to be the Jets. They just drafted a guy. Is it the Eagles? We know the Eagles have been in hot pursuit. Trevor just throws Washington, for sure. Carolina, for sure. They can move off Sam Darnold. Could it be the Dolphins? Absolutely. It's Miami. I think Miami's going to work on a 2-track this offseason, or even maybe during the season. Watch this. Potentially getting Aaron Rodgers down there next year, or making a move for Deshaun. What you're hoping for, by the way, if you're the Dolphins, that Tua pans out and is the guy. I don't think he is. Hey, Trev, if you want to call New Orleans East Coast, that's fine. I don't think that you would get that much of a pushback by the Benson family if all of a sudden Mickey Loomis, the GM of the Saints, and Sean Payton made a call to the Texans. It's NFC, AFC. That'd be a good fit too. There's a lot of talent and a damn good defense in New Orleans. How about this? You put Deshaun Watson on that with the play caller that Peyton is, I think the Saints may be right there in the Super Bowl. I mean, that'd be a hell of a football team. So, everyone knows Howie Roseman, the general manager of the Eagles, is always on the. 2 years ago, I heard that he was talking to Steve Keim, the general manager of the Arizona Cardinals, and they were looking at Patrick Peterson because they were looking at a safety. Their secondary is brutal, the Eagles. Brutal. And it's been that way for 2 years. They can't get anybody on the ground. And on top of that, their linebacking core sucks. I mean, the whole defense really has been in and out of the injured list. They've got some players on that team, but you know what? They've just not been consistent enough because they've been always hurt. That's right, man. They really haven't upgraded that defense since 2008. So I said this. It's not going to be you know what's crazy? Eagle fan thinks that Devontae Smith is more valuable than Deshaun Watson. Go on my Twitter page at Dan Sileo Show. It's mind-numbing. You talk about idiotics. They're like, that's a horrible deal. You know what the deal is? 2 number ones and Devontae for Deshaun Watson. You want to hear something? There's no way the Texans would budge on that. The only reason that they may is why. The only reason they may is because of the sexual harassment cases that are against him. Because if we were just talking with no cases, you couldn't get that guy out of Houston for less than 5 first-rounders. I asked Jimmy Johnson that question in January when it first started coming up that he wanted out of Houston. Jimmy goes, I wouldn't take but 5 first-rounders for that guy, and that's still not enough. You're never going to get the value in return for that player. You're constantly looking for that guy. I think he had 33 touchdowns, 7 picks on a team that won only 4 ball games. Who cares who your wideout is when you don't have the quarterback? And you know what? Everybody in Philly has got a hope chest for, like, Jalen Hurts. Like he's some superstar quarterback coming out of college where you went, this guy. I mean, honestly, I could care less about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, is a fine player. He's 52% completion percentage a year ago with the Eagles. Now, you got a new offense. You got a new coordinator. You got new terminology. He's going to have to go through all of that. And here's the most important thing. You know what happened today? Nick Sirianni, the new head football coach of the Eagles, was asked the question, hey, do you feel comfortable naming Jalen Hurts as your starting quarterback going into the 2021 season? You know what he said? We're not there yet. What? So the head football coach of the Eagles doesn't know who his QB is yet. I mean, hey, Trevor, help me out. Who's the other dude that's in the quarterback room with the Eagles? I mean, is he really pushing him? Joe Flacco? Holy cow, Joe Flacco is pushing Jalen Hurts. If you don't have it definitive right now, 8/5/2021, and who your QB is, you don't have a QB. You're not sold between Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco must look 10 times better than him in practice. That's why they can't say it. Oh, Nick Mullins, the kid from San Francisco's third team. I would not be shocked if both Mullen and Flacco are out playing him so far in the first week and in the scrimmages. It would not shock me. Mullen's not that bad. Okay, I think he's a real good backup. Joe Flacco is a professional quarterback. You're going to know when he's in the huddle that he knows what he's doing. Okay, and with some good components around him, he won a Super Bowl before. Is he that guy? Doubtful. But I'll tell you what, Joe Flacco versus Jalen Hurts, who do you want as your quarterback? Boy, I don't know. After what I saw a year ago, guy's not very accurate. Guy's not very good at seeing the whole field. There were spurts where you went, wow, okay, that was not bad. But you can't have that, man. The head coach is not sold on you yet. Man, you had 1 million OTAs and all these quarterback schools and all this other stuff, and you're around the coach. And he's not sold you're the guy? They get rid of Carson Wentz for you, and you're not the guy so far. Now, I thought going into training camp, I thought that was already solidified that he was going to be the starter going into the regular season. Is he most likely going to be? Yeah, probably, because you know why? There's pressure on the organization. All the fans in Philly were rooting and hooting, and they're making sure that, and by the way, they traded up to get this guy in the second. That's why there's heat on Howie. Right, Trevor. There's heat on Howie because you know why? They got to make this guy work. But see, Howie didn't trade up to get that guy to make him a starting quarterback in the face of the Eagles. He was going to be a quality backup quarterback that they were going to move in a couple years for like a third rounder. Wentz was going to be the star. That's how they were going to play it. They didn't think that they had to jettison Carson Wentz and to elevate this guy into the position of the face of the team. He's not ready. He is a giant. I'll tell you what, Jalen Hurts may be more of a project than what Trey Lance is in San Francisco. Just telling you. Saying some good things about Trey up in San Fran. I just heard from the head coach of the Eagles. Yeah, we're not there yet. What? All right. Podcasterwarehouse.com. Do me a favor. Go to the website. Great place. Headphones, earbuds, microphones. Gamers, this is your one-stop place. Listen. Also, 25% off everything on the website. Use the promo code Sileo, S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. That's S-I-L-E-O. Shipping is free. You can spend as much as $5 to $5,000. Now, here's the deal with Deshaun. The sexual harassment cases. How would Eagle fan handle that? How would that city handle that if they were to make that trade? I'll explain next. Keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show. Yeah, no, the big lead just thank you. The big lead just goes like this: that myself and let's see, Adam Schefter. I'm being mentioned with Chris Trapazzo, who's good, Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio, and there I am. I'm in good company. Correct. But you see, on Skull Island, there's only one family. It's yeah, exactly, the Congione family from Congiorla. Oh, yes. My heart stopped. Thank you. This is the big ragu, Dan Sileo. Oh, yeah. How you doing? The big ragu. Big Sills every night here on USA Radio Network. Hey, stir the sauce. Hey, remember something. Don't stir it too much when the chicken's in there because it breaks off the bone, and then I'm going to have to break your bone. Remember that. Don't do that. Make sure you drop the sausage in there, too. Don't overcook it. Keep it on a low simmer. If you're going to go away, make sure you keep stirring that bottom, because if I come back and that bottom is stuck, you're stuck, and I'm going to put you in the ground. Why is the sauce so important? Whoa! What are you, crazy? In my family, the sauce is the lifeline. It's like the blood that runs through us. And believe me, if the sauce ain't right, it runs through us. Yeah, let me just tell you this. You can always tell what someone who's not Italian makes. Italian sauce. How you doing? I'll get you later. Woo! Baby, man. Yeah, that's when I was getting recruited to go play at Alabama. They go like this. We got an Italian restaurant down here. And I go, yeah, I heard it's really good. It's called like Leone's or something like that. He's like, yeah. He goes like, it's owned by a Chinese family, right? And he goes like, yeah. I go, so Chinese cooks in there cooking Italian food? I don't know. Coach goes like this. It's really good. I go, I'm sure it is. I'm just like, I don't know. And he's like, I don't know, Coach. You know, he goes, well, we had Johnny Musso here. I'm like, okay. I said, yeah, you had one Paisan on the whole damn team in 50 years. And you think I fit in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I'm a Northeastern guy. Holy cow, Coach. Hey, I'd be on Swingman's Curve, and I'd be like this. Where am I? Swingman. Hey, garlic bread, please. Get the vino over here. An Olive Garden. Very Italian. All right. But speaking of Italian, Philadelphia's an Italian section, right? Philadelphia's Irish, Philadelphia's minorities and blacks and everybody. It's a great melting pot, right? How do you think they would handle something like this with a guy that's been accused of so many accusations of sexual misconduct? Let's put it there. Sexual misconduct. Now, know this. I'm going to say this to you here. See, Trevor just said they go through the roof. Yeah, because Philly's turned into a snowflake city a bit. It's because of their mayor, too. And I would say this to you. Philadelphia sports is different, though. They go nuts on the guy's behavior, but if the guy started winning ball games with that, calm it down, you're still going to get a section of that. So how do you handle something like this? From what I have understood in this whole thing, it's a good point. Michael Vick was in that organization. Here was a guy that murdered animals. And I don't know about you, but animals being treated the way he treated them, that's something my family's never got. And you know what? And I know Mike, and I kind of like Mike because I think he's done great things since that incident. He works with PETA. He does all that. But there's nobody that's going to forget that and how he tortured them dogs. Nobody's going to forget that at all, forever. That guy went to Leavenworth. Guy was pressing plates. Philadelphia took him in, though, didn't they? Here's a guy with these civil suits against him, which means what? Which means that, they're going after the wallet now. They're really not going after a criminal charge as of yet. Could that change? Yes. So here's my take. Would I make a move for him? I surely would. Now, the reason that some of these teams are starting to call the Texans more, I have to think that people in New York, and most notably in the commissioner's office, know this. Everybody in that front office at the commissioner's office, they're lawyers. The NFL is run by lawyers. Goodell's a lawyer. They've probably informed both the Texans and some of the general managers and owners on what the particulars are on Deshaun Watson privately. Union reps can also get the message in that the NFL Players Association is here on this case. So people probably have a direction on what's going to happen. These cases aren't going to be heard until next spring. So would you make a move? I would. I don't think there's going to be a lengthy suspension, or the NFL would have been out in front of this. This is a very interesting story. I still want to hit on it. Tonight's Hall of Fame game. We'll hit on it next. You keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show. Be right back, Chris. Yeah. 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 What's up, dude? Okay. See, I don't know. Good. I did talk to the guy. I know the guy. Let's see what this is now. What is this? What? Holy cow. People are talking shit on me. It's all right. No, I love it. Sileo back in the news again. You don't know how that just. It's a great thing because it means I'm relevant. The big lead and some of these other folks. They're mentioning me though with the premier people in the sport that cover the sport. Remember that Peter King, Adam Schefter, my name, Dan Sileo, and Mike Florio. You can't get it any bigger than those other three guys. Hey, don't bury the bit, okay? Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. Hope all are having a great night on the opening night of the National Football League. You're saying, wait a minute, first week of September, right? Oh, no. We count the greatness of exhibition football. The NFL does. Oh, you bet they do. You know the NFL charges full price for all exhibition games? No different than a regular season game. You're like, no. Preseason games, no, they're not. It's part of the ticket package that you purchase when you're buying season tickets in the NFL. You pay for those preseason tickets. Why do you think the NFL's never gotten away from those preseason tickets? NFL makes huge money on those things. Now, it's not the same obvious attendances, but now the NFL's, they're charging now for practices. If you want to watch the Dallas Cowboys practice, I think it's like $50 or something now. For you to go watch a practice, they have these open practices that they charge parking now. They have vendors come by. League is great, man. They know how to milk their fans as well as anybody in history, including the WWE. It's really great. I love it. By the way, our friend Ross Tucker from the Ross Tucker podcast, and I'm not real big on putting podcast guys on my show, but that guy has a great one. He's been covering the National Football League. He's got a betting podcast, too. That's really dope. This kid's really great. Went to Princeton. Ross Tucker does the pregame show for the Eagles and such. And we'll talk a little bit of Eagles with him, too, because the Eagles are in the news, especially when it comes to us. And, it's funny. I was just telling Chris O here that now you're going to start seeing articles, popping up with my name in them because we tweeted out something today. And you know what I love though? Can I tell you what really is really cool? I told my aunt this earlier tonight. Nowhere in this conversation is race, religion, politics, vaccinations. It's pure sports talk banter. Let me read you the headline here in the lead, the big lead. Deshaun Watson to the Eagles rumor, more absurd with each tweet. This is a pretty big website. They have a lot of followers that does this website here. NFL training camps are in full swing, and I'm not going to read all of it to you to bore you because I don't really think they have the greatest writers, but they do cover the sport very well. NFL training camps are in full swing across the country, and Hall of Fame game is going to be played tonight. which means we're just a few short weeks away from the actual season beginning. The Deshaun Watson case, though, is front and center. Why should it be surprising, even though absurd, which team is going to trade for Deshaun Watson with all these sexual cases that are pending against him? It would seem to be that the NFL teams would be in a pause, but no. There is specifically a trade involving the Philadelphia Eagles and the Houston Texans. Chris Trapazio tweeted that a source told him talks are heating up between the Eagles and Texans. Then it goes into Mike Florio. Sources say, contrary to report that trade talks between Eagles and Texans for Deshaun Watson are heating up. They are not. Okay. Then it comes to me. Looks like the Eagles have offered up 2 ones and Devontae Smith to the Texans for Deshaun Watson. And I then followed up with, according to Rusty Hardin, the attorney handling the complaints against Deshaun Watson, the cases won't be heard till next spring, which is true. And some are being dealt with now with confidentiality agreements. That's why Rusty Hardin is telling you right now that Tony Busby, who's representing those women, you haven't heard anything from him. Well, that guy was kicking up a storm about 5 months ago. And now that he's not made a word or said a word in the last 5 months, what does that tell you? Attorneys keep their mouths shut when they need to. And why would they need to? Because money's involved. Attorneys open their mouth when there's no money involved. When there's money involved and people are being paid off, they're not going to get in the way of that because it affects their checkbook if they say something publicly that could be misconstrued wrong and the confidentiality agreements are ripped up. And before you know it, you got a problem. That's how attorneys work. This is all money here. Which now also leads me to believe that if you are the Texans, you move the kid before the start of the regular season. And I'm talking Deshaun Watson. So when I throw this out like this and people start writing about it, no, it's true then. See, people in my business, just like in the mainstream media, what is the one thing they hate the most? When someone gets a story before them. And you know what the new MO is? You trash the guys who got the story for not being true. How many times do you see the New York Post and New York Times doing that during the Trump administration? Bashing stories. Turned out to be they were wrong. How many times did you see that? We could probably name 100 stories that they were wrong on in 4 years. Is that right? How about the stuff that's going on now with the Biden administration? The way they're covering the Cuomo story. I mean, you could go back with sound bites and video clips of people. What were they calling them? Like Cuomoites or something? They were calling these guys like Cuomo was the next thing to the be all end all. Boy, they're backing up on that one now, just like they were doing that creepy Michael Levante attorney guy. Those two guys were the reigning stars last year. Turned out to be creeps and sexual harassment people and a guy stealing money from a stripper. Imagine that. That's your attorney? He doesn't even have his own credibility where, one, his client's a stripper. Secondly, he's stealing from her. Congratulations to you, man. You got quite an MO there. He's a creepy attorney. Hey, and by the way, once again, too, I'm not saying anything about Stormy Daniels. I think actually the attorney's creepier. Then he thought he was going to extort Nike. Congratulations. How'd that work out for you? They sent his ass to jail. Think you're going to extort Nike. So when you know the behavior of attorneys and you're watching Rusty Hardin and Tony Busby, who are involved in this case with Watson, the way that they're mum on everything, and most notably, how about the commissioner of the National Football League not saying anything on this case? Has anybody, Troy Vincent, who's head of security for the NFL and behavior of the players, has anybody heard anything from the league at all? Have they? Have you heard anything from the league or anything? Any comments whatsoever? Have you heard anything from the union that's supposed to represent the players? I haven't heard anything. Okay. There's obviously talk going on behind the scenes, or teams wouldn't be calling. Mike Florio, who, in my opinion, is a jackass, thinks he's got the handle on everything. He doesn't. Chris Sims is more plugged in than he is. Peter King is really plugged in. Here's the guys you follow when it comes to really NFL. Remember something about me, and I've said this before to you. I'm not a journalist. But when I'm calling people to come on my show, you know what's crazy too? Let me throw this at you here. So when people say I have no sources or anything and I have no, then why does the president of the Steelers come on? Why does the CEO of the Cowboys come on? Why does the general manager of the Chargers come on my show? Why does the head coach of the Buccaneers, the Colts, all come on my program? And it's documented. Because you think I'm some snowflake or a guy that's just some weirdo dude. You think those coaches are going to associate, or general managers or owners are going to associate with somebody like me if I wasn't actually kind of, in a way, plugged into some of these dudes? You know who it is? It's people in my business, just like it is what I told you a couple minutes ago in the media business, that don't like to be one up. These new podcaster guys have an assassins button on the Twitter page that if you get something before them, they get butthurt. Legitimately, they get butthurt. Well, you know, he's been wrong 50 other times. Really? I never said I was a journalist. Unlike you, I have never, ever, in a million years, ever claimed to be that. In my 30 years of almost being on the radio, I've never said I was a journalist. Ever. Well, you kind of break stories like them. No, I hear something and I say it. Breaking stories, that's for you to decide if it's a breaking story. I don't know. Do I get firsthand knowledge or something? You know, I told a story a couple months ago about how I got the Michael Vick story. Seriously, you know how I got the Michael Vick story? There was a trainer in Orlando by the name of Tom Shaw. Trains all the great athletes. I had my daughter with me. We went to dinner. We had pizza. They told me this story at 1 o'clock Eastern time, and I had it at 1 o'clock. And I went like this. Hey, I got to tell you, you know what Tom Shaw just did? Tom Shaw's got Tony Dungy, and he's got Andy Reid from the Eagles in the facility. Michael Vick just did a workout. Michael Vick just took a physical. Michael Vick just signed a contract with the Eagles. It's going to be announced either later tonight or tomorrow morning that Michael Vick's an Eagle. I was like, are you sure? He goes, I saw the contract signed. It was right there on the table. I saw Michael sign it. I trained him. I had that at 1 o'clock. I went, holy criminy. All right, what do I do with this? So dinner time was coming around. Monday Night Football is getting ready to be played. John Gruden was still in the booth. I said this, screw it. I got to say this. Right before I had dinner, I called into my radio show. Or not a radio show. I called into my station. And I do a breakaway and I go, hey, we're reporting now that Michael Vick is going to be signed with the Philadelphia Eagles, and he'll report to the Eagle facility tomorrow. I was the only guy ever on the planet to have that story. Here's a guy that murdered all them dogs. And I was nobody had the story. Nobody. Sure enough, John Gruden mentions it. Radio station in Tampa, didn't say the name, but radio station in Tampa is reporting that Michael Vick has just signed a contract with the Philadelphia Eagles. We're getting reports. Then they made it sound like, Shefty broke it, but it wasn't true. I did. Those guys act like you're, see, and when you're taking credit for other people's work, that's not real cool either. But they did, and I didn't care because I'm not a journalist, and that stuff doesn't rub me wrong. Okay? So when they were doing that, finally they had to come around and go, well, even Mike Florio did. Florio, you could Google it. Florio goes like this. What we're understanding is, I think the first time that it was mentioned is that Dan Sileo said it at WDAE in Tampa. And it was true. I did. I was the first guy because I saw Tom Shaw. I go, Tom, did he really sign that contract with the Eagles? He goes, yeah. I went, holy crap. Nobody knows. It's one of the only times, and I had this for hours, and I was so nervous about it. And I was given a heads up about it, too. It was crazy. Crazy. And that's kind of what has evolved over all these years. I talked to the general manager today of the Houston Texans. By the way, Ross Tucker, bottom of the hour. I want to hit on Jimmy Johnson and what he said about the upcoming Dallas Cowboys this year, plus a little bit on the Steelers. We'll do that next. Yeah, it's all right. Now, what was it? Huh. Why is Biden concerned about Texas governors and COVID-19 when he's allowing all those people to cross the border with COVID-19? You think Arizona voted Democrat, according to Wayne? That's funny. First thing that Biden did was he made sure he stopped that ball being continued, even though the government had voted for it to be funded. Hey, how long is the interview on at bottom of the hour? A question? Wow. Such a Democrat. Oh. Yeah. I know, honey. I get you. Bank. Dude. Ba, ba, ba. Gives me agita. It is. Dan Sileo, and your king of Asti Spumante, in case you ever had it. You put a little sugar block in the champagne. My grandfather loved this. It's like $3 champagne. Asti Spumante. We had cases of it. I don't know why. I'd go down in my basement of my grandfather's house, and there'd be like cases of this Asti Spumante. I'm like, oh, this must be fancy champagne. I looked at it, $3.19. Grant, what do you do with this? He goes, oh, you give it away for gifts. And I like to drink it with a highball. I'm going, all right. All right. Oh, my grandfather's not going to drink Thunderbird. He's not that guy. He's not going to do that. He likes highballs. Jesus, that knocked your socks off there. My grandfather drank Ballantine and Schaefer beer. I don't know. This is like an East Coast beer. It's not really like, sold in the Midwest and out West. Ballantine, Schaefer beer, Schlitz malt liquor. I'm like, holy God, man. This guy, my grandfather was drinking 40s before everyone else was drinking 40s. Hey, pour one out for the homie. That's funny. Yeah, Grandpa's drinking Schlitz malt liquor before everyone else was drinking it. Man, I was like, yeah, I've seen that before. And my boy Jerome Brown down there, he goes, Sileo, you drinking Schlitz malt liquor? Hell yeah, my grandpa drank it. Oh, but on to me, man. I'm so glad to see these teams are kicking off the NFL 2021 season. Steelers and Cowboys. Like gold standards to, logos and history and everything that's involved with the league and its history. And you get two coaches that coached the team going into the Hall of Fame this weekend. You have Jimmy and Bill Cowher going in. I tell you the greatest stat, and I keep repeating that stat, and I hope you don't get bored with that stat, but they've had 3 head coaches, the Steelers, since 1969. Hell, prior to 1989, when Jimmy had taken over, there's only one head coach in Dallas. That was Tom Landry. Coached there 20 years. Since Jerry's owned the thing, it's been like a collection of, some choir in Utah. I mean, you could probably fill up a starting 5 and then your backups with some of the coaches that he has hired over his tenure since he's owned the team. And Jerry had, I think the longest guy has to be Jason Garrett. But it's great having these benchmark franchises kick the season off. Why? Face recognition, name recognition, logos, history. People love this stuff. Now, the game sucks. It's terrible. Okay? It is. But you're seeing Cowboys, and it's 9-3. It's like a rugby game. Okay? It's like a rugby game. But it's really great to see these two teams really start the NFL season. I love it. I get amped up and jacked up for what's coming this year. Watch this. Who can win the Super Bowl? I don't know, really. Are there favorites? Yeah. Okay, Buccaneers. Maybe the Packers. Maybe the Chiefs can come out of it for what they did a year ago and maybe get another opportunity to play for the Super Bowl again. Make Mahomes' stake as the best player in the game at the position. Still yet to be determined, right? All right. Hey, don't forget, check out my friends at podcasterwarehouse.com. Headphones, earbuds, microphones, desk, anything you need to build really a home studio for yourself. This is your one-stop place. Great for headphones too, by the way. Use the promo code Sileo, S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. That's S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. Shipping is free. As I said, 25% off of everything that's in the building. $5 to $5,000. This is what Podcaster Warehouse is all about. Go to podcasterwarehouse.com. One of my favorite people in broadcasting is Ross Tucker. He started this this podcast a couple of years back, and it's just been one of the biggest podcasts there is in the country. He's next. Keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show. Who? Oh. Yeah, I know, brother. I'll see you in 20. Right back. Be right back. Pretty good. As you were talking, the Doolittle raid has just begun on Godzilla's place. Oh, absolutely. He's got the Distinguished Medal of Kongville, and Doolittle will drop his eggs and his coconuts on Godzillaville. I am the Joint Chiefs. This buck stops, as Roosevelt said, right here, bitch. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe Harry Truman. Buck stops here. Okay. Unfortunately, he was a one-term dude. Yes, like, you can always. Dan Sileo, USA Radio Network. You can always understand that, when you're in a home where, your kid kind of respects you. I mean, she's like, Dad, you see those requests you're getting for your cameo? They're goofs, right? Oh, yeah, I understand that. I said, so I'm thinking of raising my price so that, you can weed out them guys. She's like, you'll never get $100. I go, maybe I don't want it, D. But it'll stop these guys because there's too many of them. I got like 20 where people are going like this. Dear me, I'm a loser. That's for like $30. I'm compelled on that one a lot because I say that sometimes. Okay, I've got quite a few of them now. So yeah, no. What? Just to reset here. Okay, people have, like, in Philadelphia, have gotten really upset and really starting to, they've fallen in love with this kid named Devontae Smith, the receiver out of Alabama. Kid won the Heisman. Really good looking kid too. Talent wise, looks like he'd be a great guy. Anytime I heard him speak, he is such a team guy. Really, there's nothing not to like about him. And I see why Nick Saban has just raved about him. This is not about the kid. See, I talk just like I try to tell people, when it comes to conservatives and liberals, it's a different way you talk to those two folks. Okay? And you know what? I'll say this even about conservatives. Nobody likes the truth. And this is what the NFL is. Watch this. Unfortunately, people get awful butthurt over this. Do you think a person that's been in a company for 25 years should be given any kind of latitude when it comes to possibly replacing him with someone that can make your company better? Do you believe that? See, I do. I think there's a way of doing things. But if there's some guy that's been in the building for 5 minutes, I could care less what he thinks. I'm not going to be rude. I'm not, during a pandemic, going to be harsh in the fact that I understand that sometimes we're making moves just to survive ourselves. So good luck to you. That's the kind of conversation I'm talking about. I'm not talking about good riddance, get the hell out of town. Not doing that. But there's a way of talking to people. And here, this kid Devontae Smith may be a great guy and a fabulous player. I don't care. If I can upgrade my football team by getting the best quarterback in the division, where it could set my franchise up for the next decade and save my job if I'm Nick Sirianni, then I'm going to get that guy. I don't care if you like this guy or not. That's got nothing to do with winning. You know, I was telling someone about Troy Aikman, and I was telling it in the last hour about, you know, Troy really got upset when Jimmy Johnson drafted Steve Walsh out of Miami in a supplemental round. But it happened to be a first-round pick. It's a first-round pick. It's a big pick. And Jimmy had him there, and he thought Steve Walsh could win him football games. He thought he could do all the things that it took to win games. And they had Troy Aikman in the room. And I'll never forget, I'm out to dinner with Troy. And Troy's like, your boy got drafted. Huh? Steve Walsh. I go, yeah, he's playing in Miami with me. I like Steve. And he goes, oh, I see. So Jimmy's got his guy now. That doesn't mean anything for me. And I go, hold on for a second. Do you really believe in your heart that Steve Walsh is going to be the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys in 10 years? Do you really believe that? He goes, that's his guy. I go, that guy doesn't care about anything but winning, dude. I think you got this wrong. He goes, well, you know him better than I do. I go, Troy, you said no to him 3 times. That's why you're acting this way. You see what happened in Troy's life? That's why this story with those 2 dudes is really great this weekend. He said no to him to go to Oklahoma State. He said no to going to Miami after he hurt himself at Oklahoma. And when he got to the Dallas Cowboys, Troy Aikman was already there. So he never said yes to Jimmy. And now he's going to introduce Jimmy into the Hall of Fame. I love that. That is a great ending to a story. It is, man. Yeah, the game stinks. But who cares? Football's back, right? Then I could go potentially do my cameos. Fat Goomba. Fat Goomba Dearest. Yes, we'll reset. You keep it here on the Dan Sileo Show. Holy cow. Terrible. I love you, dude. I'll talk to you, man. Yeah, it'll be a very big debate tonight. That's for damn sure. Got you, brother. Talk to you soon.